And that's now the senior end officer now taking its position back on parade.
The sovereign platoon! Shoot! Firm! Arms! Close order! March! The sovereign platoon will advance by the centre! Quick! March! The sovereign platoon!
What we're going to see now is the Sovereign's platoon come forward, left form, and then march to meet the Sovereign's banner and take over control of it. The Sovereign's platoon, which wear multicoloured lanyards using colours from all three divisions, is selected on merit as the best platoon amongst the intake. These officer cadets have been in a competition throughout their 42 weeks training. The competition comprises of drill, orienteering, shooting, cross-country, a lot of academic tests, and the final event is the march and shoot. This is one proud platoon to ultimately have the honour of trooping the colour or the banner today.
The sovereign's platoon! Eyes up! Pad!
And now you can see the Academy SAMAA Major making his way from the rear of the Sovereign's platoon. As he walks onto the front, he'll pick up the ensign who will be carrying the Sovereign's platoon. And the Academy SAMAA Major will take over the Sovereign banner and hand it over to the ensign.
The ensign today is Officer Cadet Pittman of the Sovereign's platoon. Officer Cadet Luke Pittman is from Cirencester, Gloucestershire, and was educated at Eton College and studied engineering at Oxford University. Officer Cadet Pittman enjoys playing tennis, football and golf in his spare time, and he looks forward to commissioning into the Household Cavalry Regiment.
The Sovereign's platoon! Present! Arms! Platoon! Slow! Arms! Right, sir. The Sovereign's platoon will advance by the right. Slow! March!
And it is particular to note that the colours and banners are extremely important to any regiment, normally presented by Her Majesty the Queen, and they contain insignia of the battle honours of the unit that they have fought in. They're normally held secure in an officer's mess and will be escorted when moved from place to place. On the battlefield, however, they signify a rallying point for soldiers to return to in chaos of battle, and then we'll later see a demonstration of when the colour is then trooped in front of the senior division so that they can recognise the colour that they've just been trooping.
There, just going through shot, is the proud platoon colour sergeant of the Sovereign's platoon. That is Colour Sergeant Ray, and he's from the Coldstream Guards. He was posted to the academy in 2020 after his last role as the Recce second in command of the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards. This is his second opportunity to commission a regular course, one of them being the Sovereign's platoon here today. He's immensely proud of all 14 platoons' achievements and being part of the Sovereign's platoon commissioning course 213. Colour Sergeant Ray finishes at Royal Military Academy Standards this term and returns to the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards in August. Colour Sergeant Ray is married to Elizabeth and they are both expecting their first boy in November.
And that's the senior division with swords and the intermediate and junior division with rifles now presenting arms as the banner is now trooped through the ranks. The Sovereign's platoon now making their way back to their original position on the far left of the parade, and they're joined by SOM company to their right hand side. Between the centre, so either side of the colours that you just seen just then, is Gaza company, and to the right hand side is Eames company. And what we can expect now is we can expect the Sovereign's platoon to halt and then face towards the front. And then you'll see the Academy Adjutant moving forward to give the words of command, ready for the parade to march round in slow and in quick time.
Will march past in slow and quick time. Divisions into columns, right wheel, by the right. Go, march.
The parade step off in slow time now, a huge relief for every single officer cadet and member of staff on parade as they finally move after being stood still for probably about 30 minutes at this stage.
And a beautiful view of Old College, the iconic building of the Royal Military Academy. The Royal Military Academy was established in Woolwich in 1741 to train officers for the artillery, my cap badge, and the engineers. A similar institution was founded for the cavalry and infantry officers in 1802 in High Wycombe. The first commissioning parade at the new Royal Military Academy Sandhurst was held on the 14th of July 1948 in the presence of His Majesty King George VI, who decreed henceforth that the parade was to be known as the Sovereign's Parade.
You can see the parade moving their way to the far left-hand side of the parade ground now, and this is so that all the senior term will get in front of the intermediate term, followed by the junior term, and will march past the dais. So the inspecting officer will be stood on the dais, just to the left-hand side out of the screen, and all the troops in their half companies will march past and respect and pay compliments to the inspecting officer. Academy Adjutant leading the parade and giving the first compliment to the inspecting officer. Just incidentally enough, the chargers are looked after by experienced ceremonial members of the Household Cavalry, Corporal Bishop and Santanine. And chatting to them earlier this week, the Academy Adjutant's charger, Falkland, he's 22 years old and he started his career as a lifeguard in the Queen's Guard. Noticed for his kind nature and strong presence, he was promoted straight to an officer's charger and then as the commanding officer's charger. He's extremely experienced, as you can see, he's on parade, but he is approaching his retirement and he'll be looked after daily by Colonel Crispin Lockhart, his previously commander officer. And as the officer cadets are now making their way in slow time past the dais, we just touched on the charges just then, and incidentally enough, this year celebrates the Jubilee celebrations, the Platinum Jubilee celebrations for Her Majesty the Queen, and a statue was unveiled here at the Academy, and it was commissioned to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee and the long association that Her Majesty has with the Royal Military Academy. It was unveiled by His Royal Highness Prince Edward on Friday the 27th of May 2022, so just a couple of months ago, and it shows Her Majesty in the Grenadier Guards uniform riding her favourite mare, Burmese. And now it took the artist Caroline Wallace a year to sculpt that particular statue and 9 months for the foundry to be painstakingly cast. Those present for the unveiling was His Royal Highness Prince Edward, it was the Head of Army Staff, the Chief of General Staff, Carlton Smith, and the Toulouse foundry staff who helped make the statue, and the statue's patrons, His Royal Highness Prince of Bahrain, Sheikh Nasser. Her Majesty was really passionate about horses, and which is why we're including the two chargers here today. She started learning to ride at the age of 3, and Burmese, which is depicted in the statue that she is riding, is the beautiful black mare that was given to her in 1969 as a gift from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And they were in the UK at the time, attending the Royal Windsor show that year. But Burmese was the starring role, as you probably would have seen in The Troop and the Colour, for almost 18 years, rode by Her Majesty between 1969 and 1986. Burmese retired and was put out to pasture in 1987. Later, unfortunately, passed away in 1990. But Incidentally enough, Her Majesty did not replace Burmese, her favourite statue, with another charger. Instead, she chose to ride in the carriage during the remains Troop of the Colours from 1987. And the officer cadets, as they pass the dais now, you will see they will get in open order, so that means you'll have a bit of a distance between the front rank and the rear rank in order to pay the correct compliments, as you would do an inspection. And then once they pass the rank, you'll see them get into close order, so the ranks will close by. There you can see Company Sir Major McAvoy, the Welsh Guards, leading his company around Chaos Corner, where the divisions are from single line and they move into column. So basically the right half, as you're looking at the parade, half company will end up behind the right half, the left half. Spectacular view of Old College there. As you can see at the apex, just below the flag, above the steps on the facade, is the relief of Mars and Minerva, the ancient gods of war and wisdom, something that all the cadets will see as they arrive on the first day of the academy, as they walk up those steps, and now as they march up the steps, commissioning to complete their full year's training and commission to the British Army. It reminds them that they must combine the virtues of both war and wisdom. New College Adjutant Chris Pollard, Major Chris Pollard, riding Boris now towards the rear, controlling that all of the officer cadets are making sure they're all correctly spaced and controlling from the rear. You can see the concentration on not just the staff but the officer cadets now as they march around the square, concentrating on not just keeping in step, but making sure their arms are tightly close to their body, their heads are looking up, their shoulders are back, all the arms are dressed the same as the person next to them, and they're just showing off and really, really, really enjoying the parade. What you'll see now is we're coming to the end of the slow time part. We're waiting for a signal from the parade and the adjutant will break him into quick time. And all the officer cadets have relieved this stage to finally swing their arms as they've been stood to the side of their body for the remainder of the parade up until now. the senior term, the words of command are given by the officer cadets that were selected as junior under officers or senior under officer. But for the intermediate turn and the junior turn, because they're still in previous stages of training, they will have their words of command given by the members of staff. Once all the officer cadets have gone past in both slow and quick time, which they are doing now, they will now form back onto their original lines, as you've seen prior to the march past, so their inspection lines. So senior term will be at the front again, followed by intermediate and then the junior term. Old College Regiment SAMAA is James Timperley put up the rear there, followed by the new college adjutant Chris Pollard. As the officer cadets completed their final stages in quick time, you will see that they will perform a movement called left form at the halt. So this is where they left form at a given point, and then they will halt facing the remainder of the stands.
The final soldier marching on the parade is the Old College Regiment Sergeant Major. He is W01 Jim Tipperley of 1 Mercian, and he's the first Mercian to be selected into that post. Recently returned from Okabrit, Estonia. He's married to Claire, who will be watching at home with their son Brody.
And as the Academy Adjutant now getting all the parade into a dressing ready for the advance in review order. And this is where the whole parade will come forward 14 paces and halt in front of the Sovereign's representative.
Sandhurst, salute, arms! Sandhurst will advance in review order. By the centre, quick march! Sandhurst, shoulder, arms! Sandhurst, stand at ease!
And this stage of the parade we hand over to the Sovereign's representative who will address the parade.